Well, people, this is the post-match reaction, and it is – I knew there was something about twos. Did I not say that in the roll call?
Yeah. A lot of 2-2s.
It's this day. It's the day – Deuce is wild, as they would say, right? Deuce is wild.
Yeah.
It is a day that saw another Desmond show up today. Yeah, 2-0 Newcastle game. You had 2-0 West Ham game. You had a 2-2 Forest and Leicester game. You had a 2-0 Crystal Palace game. And to balance it out with all the other twos, you had a 2-2 Liverpool Arsenal game end up as the result. Tale of two halves, too, by the way. It's a lot of twos today. Second half was not our calling. I think that, unfortunately, it is the right call to take away. I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, like it is in a sense of there's always jostling and movement and pushing and the likes in the box. But you know what? But let me do something. Make sure it gets put. Forgot to post, make it public. That's probably why it's just you and me here right now, Lee. But all the same, it was tough to see. Look, he had his moment of redemption, I'd say. That is Robbo, in that he should have scored that first attempt where he tried to volley it.
Yeah.
He should have scored that one. You hit that anywhere at the goal, it's probably going in. Even if someone gets a piece of it, it's ricocheting probably past them and into the goal. Go ahead.
The thing with chances like that is you don't have to make the greatest contact. Just make sure you make proper contact and guide it towards the goal any area you can, like, by the post where it was close to. But, it's just one of them things. It's a shame at the end that we had the one ruled out.
Yep.
Apparently for Ibu's foul on Skelly.
Yeah, and that's what I was. Yeah, it was you could definitely say it was a foul, but it was.
I think we'd have been offside, wouldn't we? I think he'd have been just offside.
I think he would have been offsides too. I think he would have been offsides if it ended up being something that, like, if that gets passed over, then it would have been offsides probably. It looked offsides, at least by a hair, and also you would have had a case where it's the on-field decision, so chances are there's no way you're overturning that to say that it wasn't a foul.
Yeah.
So yeah, disappointing result. I think it was a disappointing second half. Start of the second half, basically. I think like what is somewhat troubling to see is we let the foot, we took the pedal off the gas, basically. Second half came, we were up 2-0. Good goal by Martinelli. That was a nice, well taken goal by him. And then you got to give it to Marino. Marino definitely stepped up and was using his head. I'll say that was using his head in more way or in another, but he was alert. He was quick to pounce on the opportunity, and he made the most of it. Early on, look, we looked like this was going to be a romp early on, and then, like I said, I think we just took our foot off the gas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we let them into it, didn't we? I actually missed their first goal. I was late back to the second half start, and only by a couple of minutes, but I missed it. It was that, it happened that swiftly. I couldn't believe it, actually. I put it on, and it was 2-1. I was like, yeah, already. And I didn't get to see it. He never replayed it. He never replayed the opening goal. So I still haven't seen it.
What's unfortunate about this is by the numbers, now that we have 83 points and only 2 games left, we are not going to hit 90.
Yeah, it would have been nice too, wouldn't it? Would have been nice to have hit 90, but
No, it would have not been nice. It would have been. I think it would have been. I think they should be disappointed that they're not going to hit 90. I think they should be disappointed in that not completely chest fallen, but what I mean by it is I hear the plate in the plate in the background just come off when you're free off of mute. But I was saying it was a case where like we should have beaten Arsenal today. Should have beaten them. They were playing scrappy. They were playing like we absolutely were beating them first half. And then to allow for them to get into this game, stick around long enough, and then completely just look like, this looked like we just,
to be honest, we could easily have added to the 2 in the first half and come close to a couple of times. Maybe if we had gone 3 in front and come back out at 3 now.
Yeah,
it might have took a bit more wind out of their tails, but them getting that early goal just set the second half up, didn't it? And then he made changes, but the changes he made didn't really take the game away from Arsenal. They were still in it. It was only really the sending off that took the game away from them, wasn't it? And then they had to defend.
Look, these games are going to be these games are going to be a little bit tougher, possibly. That Crystal Palace game's going to be good because it's a Crystal Palace game that has a in shape, in form Crystal Palace. Look, these last 10 games have not been the best for us, to say the least. We got 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. That is just above over the Mendoza line, I think it's called, or something like that, or like over the 50 mark. 5 wins, 4 losses, and I mean they've been losses to, albeit that's counting the PSG, that's counting Newcastle in that run but those are big games. PSG game knocked us out of the Champions League. The Newcastle game was a final. The loss against Fulham was a weird one. And then obviously we had 3 very beatable opponents in West Ham, Leicester, and Spurs. We got those 3 wins. But then to go on the road to Chelsea, to the Bridge, against a team that, again, we probably should have beaten. We lose to them. We come home. We say this is going to be where we show our measure and our might. This is where we're going to show that pride in the team. And we show up for 45 minutes, basically. Maybe 60 would be fair, because we did at that once we got those subs in, and it was a little bit of a burst of renewed energy. We did see a little bit of a bounce back. Harvey Elliott should have had a better shot on goal. So much right. I think unfortunately for Harvey right now, it's difficult for him to have the game seemingly flow flow so easily as it probably did before, being that he's got so much probably on his mind, riding on every action that he performs in these games as a possible, hey, this is my audition to be utilized more. Nunez did show some want and some need. He got the foul. Actually, it was either you could have called it on him, you could have called it on when he got fouled on Szoboszlai, but he did get the second yellow card for the challenge by Marino. Out of just pure hustle, him and Hata. And then what else happened? Oh, let me say Odegaard. Oh my gosh. I don't like it when we let these teams stick around in these games. And that's the difference between I know people have some people have soured on Klopp and his approach to the game, because I remember we were talking about earlier in the roll call how whether Klopp would be able to or not us in the roll call, excuse me. This was on Copish. They did their watch along. And there was a question that they brought up where he asked, Cal, I think, asked, would Klopp be able to, would we be in the same position right now with Liverpool if Klopp was still at the helm? And I was like, I think surely, we're, 15 points still ahead of this Arsenal team. I think surely you could give Klopp at least half that number, if not more, but certainly half that number that he would have been able to secure. I don't think that the difference between Klopp and Arne Slot coaching this team is the difference of 15 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd like to think if Jürgen was still here, it would have been a chance to win his second one, with Guardiola being out of his way for the season, like with the whole Rodri thing. It is what it is. I was quite optimistic that we'd have a decent second half after the first one. I was expecting more of the same. I was expecting them to play a bit better, which obviously they did. Second half, they improved. But I was expecting more of the same from us. I was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, that's the main issue that I had with this, is that we've gone from a team that fights that second half. That usually is we make the second half our initiative, our real initiative for our pushes, and it just wasn't meant to be today. We were speaking on the 90 points earlier. I see Trudon just mentioned it in the chat. Not getting 90 points is disappointing. Very disappointing for me. Very disappointing. And I think that I think this team should be somewhat disappointed that they aren't going to be able to hit that mark. They need to really end.
We missed the chance, didn't we, really, to sign off the season in grand style. Although we've got 2 games left, this would have been the one, with it being Arsenal. And then we would be king or kings.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Would have been
because of the injury curse, and that it would have been nice to have finished it that way against them, of all people, just to laugh at their fans. And I was laughing at our fans. Were good in the first half. Our singing was good. And I was enjoying myself. I was having a rare old time in the first half. This was good. But they improved. And as I said, I missed the first goal. I joined in like 48 minutes in the second half. And it was obviously 2-1. I was like, what? What was happening? I still haven't seen it. They never did replay it once on Sky, their goal.
Martinelli goal. It was a well-taken goal by Martinelli. Yeah. There's some other parts and points that we're going to talk about. I'll bring in Brian first before we do. Brian, how are you doing after this, Desmond?
Well, some people called in. I only just found out what happened, so I got to watch the first half, and then some family called in during the halftime. So I've literally just found out that it was 2-2. Someone got sent off, and Trent caused an awful lot of drama, apparently. From what I'm
He
reading here
did.
now,
He
he was
did.
booed when he
He
was
was
warming
booed.
up. He was booed when he was coming on. He was booed every time he touched the
He was,
ball.
yeah.
And Dominic Szoboszlai apparently showed his displeasure to the fans at the end. He was not happy with Trent's reception. So that answered the question.
Trent's his
That answered
boy.
the question. Will he be booed?
Trent's one of his really good friends on the team, so I'm sure he wasn't
Well, no, I'm
happy
just
with
saying, yeah, look, of course they're off it, but I'm just saying, he showed his displeasure. They're all friends, but he was one to make it known. He went to applaud the cop apparently, and he was booed.
I didn't see that
So
part.
yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He went
it's
to
more
applaud the
audible
cop.
than I was hoping it'd be if there was any. You could definitely hear it. I could, because I'd turned the telly up like to buzz off the singing, and I left it up for the second half, even though we weren't playing good anymore. And you did get quite a few boos. That's football these days. Modern football fans are less forgiving.
Well, that's what I was asking. I asked everybody said no, he won't be booed. I asked a lot of people. I asked a couple of people who go to the game. Norm, who's here, a lot, and he said he didn't think he'd be booed.
I thought he'd be booed. Definitely.
I was saying you get a few. I said you get a few, but it wouldn't be. It'd be drowned out. It'd be drowned out by applause or by cheers. But obviously,
no. See, the thing is, though, you're not going to give him cheers, though. You might applaud.
But what I meant.
I know what you mean, but I meant like as in you'll get applause. Like if people are clapping, that's one thing, which I did hear. People were clapping, but the boos are going to drown out the claps.
Well, that's what I was saying, dude.
You're not going to hear cheering for him. That's the difference.
I was willing him to have the last word by getting an assist or a goal from that free kick, but it didn't happen. He come close with two near assists, didn't he? Maybe if Jota and Nunes were a bit more alert on that one, he squeezed in. We could have had a winner.
They had to be under. They had to be
the last laugh there, sort of thing. But
Jota was the closest. Jota was the closest to that one, and Nunes was a step behind, but that would have been they would have had
I think it won't hurt his feelings too much. You realise, okay, it's some people, but it's just some. You know what I mean? You've got to come on, and time heals all wounds. Like, you know what I mean? Once he's gone, and that, like, that's just it. And it's a bit raw at the moment for some people, obviously. But yeah, it surprised me. And as Norm said, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to hear it to any notable degree that you could distinguish from the usual in the crowd. But Gary Neville picked it up quickly and drew attention to it.
But that's what I said. I said they were going to have mics, and if there was anything there. But the point I was trying to make was that even if there were boos, I'm not saying people are going to cheer his name. Just don't focus too much on the wordies. I just meant the positive noises.
Don't focus too much on the words.
Okay. No, I just said cheering. Okay, cheering, clapping, applause. I didn't. But I mean,
Mr. Verser versus.
No, well, look.
Yeah, I know. We're joking.
I'm not giving a deposition in court. I'm just saying it's Liverpool versus Everton, not Liverpool versus Everton.
Right.
I'm just saying. I just thought that the positive noises would outweigh. And a few people, I was saying, look, you go to the game. Do you think you'll get booed? And I said, there'll be a few. Yeah, of course there will. But I didn't think it would be to the point where I'm reading a story now, and the story is about how Trent was getting booed. So it was obviously very, very audible, very voluble. I just thought the Liverpool fans might be, look, let's not try and hang one of our own out to dry here. We're all pissed off. But it's been a very, very, very long time since I've seen any of our own players booed properly, as in like that, by the Anfield crowd. It very, very rarely happens. Even if they are leaving or even if they're not, we usually we're positive because we say, look, let other people boo them. we're going to know that when he comes here, like we're going to give him respect or whatever. We can have our own opinions, but yeah, I just think they're saying like he was a mistake to bring him on. Probably was. I don't know if he needed to come on today. Unless we changed anything, but you can tell me I didn't see the second half. But I don't think he probably won't play again now. I mean, if that's the reaction he's getting, then he probably. I mean, that's probably last. That's probably last. I've seen people think he's going to get like. I mean, because they'll do the thing at the end where they run around at the end and applaud all the fans. You know, the last game of the season they go to. So is he going to want to be front and center for that? Probably not. Probably not. So. Bernie says only percentage. But, those who boo, they make the loudest noise. Like I said, Sky Sports were going to have extra microphones ready to pick up any negative noises. And as soon as they did, that's going to be the story.
All right.
Yeah, so I suppose he's found out now.
Owen said the fans were, I don't know what she means, were something meaning it to happen to him. He wanted to come back to the club from Newcastle, but he was booed when he got here.
Yeah, he's saying the fans were mean.
Owen said Owen said he was nearly in tears. Let's see. There was a comment that Hash made. He said, "Did you hear the Steven Gerrard chant belting when Trent came on?" Look, he knew this was what was going to be happening. You know, the only way you really quiet the boo birds, the only way that you kind of like make it I wouldn't say right, but you kind of at least pacify the situation, score that free kick, you know, or connect with that assist and game winning goal. You know, that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is because yeah, there are some people that are hurt and that are disappointed that this player has chosen to go on to another club. And there are some people out there that recognize the fact of what Hash was just saying about, you know, singing Steven Gerrard's song. There's a reason why they're doing it. There's a reason why they're singing his song and not your song. Because right now, transactions have left them hurt. But JK,
hey man,
what was your takes? Welcome to the show. And what were your takes on the Boo Birds?
Bless up guys, the panel as well, and the chat. For me, bro, I think when you're 2-0 up at home, carry on what you did in the first half and the second half, you know. I always say we invite teams for dinner, and we allowed Arsenal to come into the game. I think when Trent came on, I would love to see if the Arsenal fans were booing. Like, I need to see a camera on them fans to see around that time when he was coming on. They could have been possibly booing as well, you know what I mean?
They could have been.
They could have been. I reckon they were, bro.
I mean, if anything, if I was a rival fan and I knew that the player was leaving, I probably would clap.
Yeah, of course.
I probably would clap and be like, "Yeah, happy to see you leave."
Yeah, but for me, bro, two games, two sort of games in two halves. First half ours, second half theirs. But all in all, bro, we should have wrapped that up. I think Kanate, bro, look, me and you back in the days had a good chat about Kanate and this, that, and the other. And I realised with Kanate, I think Jamie Carragher was saying Virgil van Dijk makes other centre backs look better than they actually are. And I think Gomez is the only guy who I would say is probably all right on his own sometimes, you know. But for me, Kanate sometimes is so bozo that, like, who were they marking on that Martinelli header? They're marking Ganair. Van Dijk. I would give more the blame to Van Dijk on that cross. Because the way the cross came in.
Yeah, the cross came in and kind of like found that little dead spot between the two of them, but they definitely didn't communicate well, and it's kind of like Virgil
was marking the guy in the middle.
Yeah, Virgil was marking no one, and Ibu didn't shade back to kind of mark the man that was there. So yeah.
Marking for there, you know.
Early. I was surprised he come on like after an hour because it was like an hour, wasn't it? So we had like 35 minutes on the pitch. I thought he might have like 15 to 20 at most. But he come on quite early. Yeah, Trent. Yeah, I mean he did have a couple. He had, the free kick wasn't his best. He could have done better, but the two near assists were good. And it would have been. I was willing him to do both. I was wanting it to happen, like so he could sort of just like get the applause and have the last word, sort of thing. But it never happened. And what was Jota up to at the end? Having that shot with his left foot when he could have just rolled Szoboszlai in at the side of him, you know.
He could have rolled in Nunez, but no, you're talking about Hata, right?
Towards the end, Jerry had a shot.
That was Nunez.
Was it Nunez?
Szoboszlai might have been there, but Nunez was making the run. Once again, it's like I don't even know sometimes if they even practice this anymore. Apparently, because this is like Nunez is making the run. There is absolutely a channel for the pass. Rather than give the pass to Nunez. And I don't care if you think he's going to miss or he's not going to miss. You'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. How about that? Okay. I would have rather seen him get the ball and miss it than have Hata take the ball, continue to press it forward and miss it himself. Okay. So,
with a couple of better decisions.
That was frustrating.
A couple of better decisions from the players. We could have been more than 2-0 up at half time. Definitely could have had the third in that first half. So I feel they were there for the taking. If we'd have had a second half performance to even match to anywhere near the first one, they were there for the taking, as Chelsea were last week. But we just couldn't up it enough to get over the line once they'd equalised, could we? Well, actually, once they got back in the game, like we found it hard to get back on top of them. But we did have chances still, didn't we? So, it's not like we didn't have any chances.
Bernie's saying, big up to Marion, by the way. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, bless up, Marion. Yeah.
Anfield, big up and true, because all anyone will remember is that Liverpool won the Premier League, so bring on the parade. That's definitely positive thinking. Watching Liverpool has been a high blood pressure risk as of late, Trap Joe says. Bernie is saying, I think she never calls Mo out, but he could have scored at least 3 times and passed it at the last minute. I think he's probably looking to get the assists in. Because he's only 2 assists away from getting to the 20 mark, and that would be an absolute a big accomplishment if you were able to do that. Let's see. See that still. I didn't get to see the Guard of Honor, but I'm going to have to watch it right now. Did you get to see the Guard of Honor, JK?
Actually, because we finished the show late. The roll call, we were doing the roll call, weren't we? So I missed it. Got the end of the "You Never Walk Alone" and that. So I'm gonna watch the game again anyway. I always do, just to watch it, you know. Brian saying in the comments, we won the league. It don't really matter how we play. But I just feel it's nice when you're champions that you play like champions for a few games.
Who said that?
I didn't say it doesn't matter. I didn't say it doesn't matter how we play, Jake. I said I personally don't give a shit about results from now. I'm just waiting for the parade. I don't care. That's all I'm saying. I mean, yeah, obviously it matters, but right now,
yeah, it matters. But it's like you're not really bothered. Like,
parade's coming. No one's going to
understand that. But
I mean, you don't want to have bet
I disagree.
7-0 by Crystal Palace, but that's not going to happen. I just mean I have a lot of leeway for performances now because you win a league.
No.
I don't really. It's up to everybody what they want to care about. I really don't care that much. We've won the league for the second time in basically my lifetime. So really, a couple of missed chances. Well, it's not going to. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's not going to spoil the parade. Right now, it's
No,
not
it's
good.
not.
But when
No,
it comes to the day of the parade, I
not gonna-
won't care. I won't give a shit. I
But
really
the
won't give a
difference
shit.
is, though, it's not going to spoil the parade, but it could enhance the parade. Let's be honest.
No,
with
I'm
you.
just saying it is for
Exactly.
everybody.
If you
It's
were,
for whatever
if you
you
were to
want.
get across the line with, I think we all wanted to see a 90-point, a 90
League
points
title.
be
Yeah,
put
yeah.
on the at least 90 points be hit on the board,
Mm-hmm.
and then also not only 90 points, but it's still Arsenal. Let's be honest. And
No, but we didn't get beat.
it's
But
the
to me,
first
no,
time. Okay, finish what you got to say, bro.
no, I was just saying. To me, 90 points, 80 points, we won the league. Don't care. I don't get the 90-point thing. It's not a point. We've won the
No,
league.
these are
Yes,
these
it
are like
goes-
the nice
it
things you
goes-
put on a
it
cake.
goes
You know, like
deeper.
the little stars and that.
On
These are
top
like
of
little
that,
decorations you
That's
put
what I'm
on top of
saying.
your cake.
It's what you like. But JK, it's like when we go to the buffet. Do you
no,
want
it's
extra wings? You know, it's like, no, I'm fine with this.
it's not.
It's a personal thing. I'm not trying to debate anybody.
Yeah,
I'm just
everyone's
saying
different, bro.
personally for me.
Yeah, yeah. But for me, I like winning, and
You all
yeah,
like
I
winning,
just like
JK.
when we. I like it when we play
We
we're
have
champions.
won.
How many times did we sing champions today? I just want to play like champions. Like the word champions is behind 12's head.
Yeah,
I just wanted us to play like champions. First half we did, bro. First half we did. What happened at half time and second half?
yeah.
For us to let 2 goals in. So that's all about. For me, Kanate
Can you straight
highlighting
after half
he needs to
time?
step up.
Yeah.
The
You know what I
one
mean?
thing you can't do, like, concede. If you're 2-0 up, come straight out and concede, and that's what we did, like, right from the off. It did for us, didn't it? As far as the result goes, there was a chance to snatch it, like, but a good shot from Odegaard. That goal, obviously Marino got in there. It was a good shot from him, good save from Ali. Yeah, there was some good action. It wasn't a brilliant game or anything. It had the potential to be, like, after the first half. But there was some good parts in it. And it was a nice sunny day. I quite enjoyed it. But yeah, it doesn't matter now. We are champions. And as long as we start next season with a win and don't drop points on the opening day, I'm more concerned about that.
Best up, Baz. How you
I
feel, bro?
don't know. Yeah, Baz. Go, Baz. Bernie in the house. We got the killer
Best
bees
Bernie.
in the house, basically. We got the killer bees. We got Baz. we got
B&B.
Bernie. Yeah, there you
Mhm.
go. I just can't.
Just need an ante now.
I think it's about setting a message. It's about setting a tone message. You're the champions, and I'm happy and proud to be and appreciate the effort for the season and them getting across the line. But it doesn't mean because you won it that okay now you just kind of like cruise control into
Exactly.
the
Never said that.
well you kind of did, but like
No, I said no.
You
12.
said
No,
that
let me put in plain English for everybody. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's
Right.
absolutely
Therefore,
entitled.
I was trying to give mine, but I understand.
Including mine. No, but you're
Right.
putting words in my mouth. No, but you're putting words in my mouth. I said,
Ding, ding.
I don't care.
Yes.
I don't care. I know ye
Right.
do, and I love the fact that ye do. So go ahead
Right.
and do. But me
Right.
personally, here in my own little corner, I don't
Right.
care.
Right.
So that's all it is. I'm not saying we shouldn't play well. I'm just saying for me, here on in, personally, now that we won the league, I really don't give a shit about the results. Now, I know everybody else does. That's their thing.
Mhm.
But I'm not saying, we should play badly. We couldn't play. Don't be.
No
I'm
one
just
said-
saying to
no one
me,
said that.
I just don't really mind. I
Right.
don't want us
We
to
don't-
lose. I don't want us to play badly. But if we don't win games, I've just focused on like this league is won as far as I'm concerned. That's what's
But
done.
that's where I'm disagree. I understand we have two different perspectives on it. I'm just saying that the perspective I hold is that this team should want to win every game. They've said it. Arne said it in the press conference. Players have said it in interviews. McAllister said it recently. Yes, they want to win. It's important to win. It's important to set like a real precedent. Important to send a message that that they're the champions. It's important. Well, if it's important, then play like it's important. It's like you can talk all you want, but if you're not going to back it up with actions, then me saying, "Oh well, that's cool. You get a pass because you already won it," in my opinion, is not holding them to their word. It's not holding them to
giving them a pass
to the measure of the level of what they should be playing towards.
Yeah, I'm not giving them a pass. I'm just saying it doesn't hurt me. I don't know how to explain it any further. Like, yeah, they should go out and do it, but right now in my own little world, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have
Well,
quite
Baz, Bernie. Let me get Baz and Bernie in this conversation. Baz, hello. Was it NFG? You don't have to say the words, okay? Or do you actually, or is this disappointing? Or was this loss disappointing in the fact of all the other measures that we're talking about, the 90 points or losing to Arsenal, or not losing to Arsenal, but having a draw against Arsenal?
Yeah. It would have been nice to beat them. We didn't lose. We played brilliantly well in the first half. Yeah, we should have, woken up in the second half. We could have won it. Obviously, it was a bit unlucky for Trent to play on Mourinho for the equalizer. I can understand it from both points of views. Like obviously Brian's and yours. Listen, when we step onto that grass at Anfield, we want to win. We want to win. But I can see we've won. We've won the league. That's the bigger picture, isn't it? Yes, this was our rivals, but I think we showed a good account of ourselves in the first half, innit? It wasn't the same, obviously, in the second half and that. And I think if we had the likes of your McAllisters and your McAllister, I think he's the only one that didn't start in our stronger lineup. It could be different, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have stats and stuff like that, but the biggest stats is at number 20, innit? Like if we get 90 points and stuff like that, yeah, great. You know what I mean? But my concern is #20. We've won it. We didn't lose against Arsenal. They did get a player sent off. We could have taken advantage, and we nearly did. But
sorry, Baz, quickly, because I missed it. What did he get sent off for? What happened?
It's a second yellow card, I think.
Second yellow card.
Yellow card.
He had like two different fouls in the same occurrence. He fouled Nunez. He fouled Sabasali.
He slipped. He was
given
the ball. Tried to do a little turn and evade Jota and slipped as he was doing it. And Jota went to pounce, and just as he was doing that,
he went in hard on Conor Bradley in the beginning, and then obviously the second yellow was there was a multiple challenges, but I think it was the last challenge. I can't remember who he got. Was it Nunez or
Sabasali? It was Sabasali and Nunez.
Yeah, it was a bit of a lounge too. Yeah, and he didn't have the
great. I interrupted there, Baz. You go ahead. Finish.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I'm not too bothered. Like I said, the biggest stat that I'm more concerned about is that number 20. We've achieved that comfortably. We didn't lose against them, and they still They still haven't guaranteed Champions League because they needed to win that one. They'll probably win it, in the next game or whatever. But they've got Newcastle next, so Newcastle are that team in it really that are challenging them. So
Southampton,
Southampton. They'll have to probably win the next two games still.
I think we should invent a better song than "Where's your European Cups? Where's your European Cups?" We should invent a better one to rib them about their lack of European silverware. One that involves a few more words, there's maybe a little funnier.
We're too classy for that one. We're too classy for that.
By the way, that was Trent's fault. By the way, too, that one. was.
But yeah, that's my take on it. 12th man. I'm a bit on the beach with it as well. We didn't lose. That's the main thing. I thought we played well in the first half. Second half, we didn't. It was a complete opposite of what we've been this season. Like poor in the first half, second half, we get up the backside. But we didn't lose. We obviously just showed them that we're champions. We played like champions in the beginning, and I'll settle for that. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to.
How about?
Go ahead,
Okay.
JK.
Yeah, I just want to say.
Go ahead,
Follow
JK.
on
No,
what he's saying.
I'll bring in Bernie after this.
Like Trap Joe saying, I can imagine next season is going to be a bit of a doozy. And I was watching this Klopp thing, Premier League video where they're just highlighting Klopp over the years and this, that, and the other. And they showed some highlights of games and this, that, and the other. And I was like, at the end of the day, like I know Matt came on the other week and he's like so happy Slot's here and Klopp's not here and this, that, and the other and that. But I'm thinking football's an entertainment business. Okay. And what it is with Klopp, you always have this feeling you're going to get a goal. You know what I mean? With Slot, you don't get that feeling.
Yeah.
And when I've seen with Slot what I feel with Slot is this. We've had games where we've been so dismal first half, but second half we look like Real Madrid. And like today, first half looking top class Liverpool, second half looking like Everton. And he needs to have that. That's what I'm saying about momentum. Football, the season's over, cool. But for me, we're still a football team. We're still Liverpool. So like Trent, right now he plays for Liverpool. He's not a Real Madrid player. I said, save them boos for when Real Madrid come to Anfield to play a Champions League game. Trent's playing for Real Madrid, boo how much as you want. But right now he's playing for Liverpool. As soon as he came on, they started sort of booing him. Bang. Mistake. Gave the ball to Gravenberch. Gravenberch lost it. You know what I mean? He was on, he made Moreno on side. So for me, next season, I hope we're better, more exciting, and we play full 90-minute games.
Yeah, so it's a very good point. Because I went for
but I didn't think I knew we wouldn't get a clean sheet, but just sense that wasn't going to happen today. They are dangerous and they can be dangerous. They're a good side. They're not as good as us, but they're a good side. Sweden too. They are a good side. Like at the end of the day, aren't they? I was more pissed off at season 3 to Chelsea than 2 to Arsenal.
They're a good side. They're definitely a good side. One of the major parts, or one of the points, Bernie, I'm not sure if Bernie is going to be rejoining us. Hopefully she will be. We have no one as accurate. Yeah, we are. We're going to miss Trent's creativity and offensive ability. That's for certain. Bradley looked a little bit shaky at times. He had a couple of super well timed, fortunate timed challenges. Could have got very close to getting a second yellow himself, and would have been a foul inside the box too if he hadn't gotten it completely right. But I guess he was there a step quicker than initially thought. One of the major reasons why I was bringing up the result of today, and that is it wasn't a loss, but it felt like a loss today. And what's wild about that is because I believe the last time Liverpool lost a match after leading 2-0 before today was April 24th, 2024. But the last time, the last time we've ended up even drawing a game after being up 2-0 is a long time as well, especially at home.
To be fair, 12th, I mean, generally when we play Arsenal, of recent times, it's been 2-2. It's been finished 2-2.
Desmond popping up today.
Yeah,
but we didn't lose in it. I know you're not talking about that, but like I think I saw a stat on the whilst I was watching it, we played 118 games or 120 games where when we were 2-0 up, we haven't we haven't lost or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the last time Liverpool drew at Anfield after being up 2-0 was on April 22nd, 2023. That was against Manchester United. The final score was 2-2. Look, there's those that might contend that that Arsenal aren't a rival of ours. You'll notice though that the last time we did lose at Anfield after being up 2-0, it was against Everton. The last time we drew after being up 2-0 at Anfield was Manchester United. You can obviously see that these rivalry games or these big games have some real importance to them in that they're going to show a lot of pride and a lot of if you have the fight, if you have what do the kids say, minerals, I guess. That's why it was disappointing today. Is to me more so. That's one of the reasons why it was disappointing. We were up 2-0 comfortably in this game early, very early, and it's kind of like after seeing those 2 goals go in within a couple of minutes of each other, it's like everyone thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and pretty much from, I'd say, after that second goal, it was pretty much Arsenal on the front foot, and especially in that second half, all the way up to about maybe the last 10, 15 minutes of the game when those subs came in.
Do you think if Slot does that normally? Have you noticed we never destroy a team in like 30 minutes, 5 goals, bang. Klopp used to do that and the game was over, bro. And this is what I'm saying about Slot. He invites people in. I've seen it all season. He invites the other teams in. He needs to make sure there's nothing to give, like nothing. There's no chance, whatever. Get the job done. Use your sub bench, Do
you know what, JK? That's a great point. He does open up, leaves the door ajar for people to potentially come in. But this is all part. He's obviously. I know you're not knocking him per se, yeah. But you're literally, it's a learning thing for him this season, isn't it? To be fair, I think next year, once he establishes his players that he wants to bring in and stuff like that, maybe he does a little bit better. But I have noticed that as well. And to be fair, the brand that we play, I do find it boring. I know people might raise their eyebrows and stuff like that, but we have been a first half team most of the season, and we've got apart from the Tottenham game, I don't think we've played that well this season, and we have let in goals and we have let in, given teams chances and stuff. But I think next year will be a better. He'll have his first full season in the Premier League, and I think he will have his players and stuff like that, and I think he'll be okay. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just answer Pops quickly. What it is, Pops? It's is the way we like football is like a game where you could go up in gears and go down in gears. You could play neutral, and what it is, we don't go third, fourth gear consistently enough to win a game all the time. We'll probably play fourth gear and boom, we'll drop it to first. It's like it's too much, I know the players on the pitch got to do the job, no doubt about that. But what it is, they're getting instructions off the manager like, "Hey, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down." He's probably shouting that at them guys. So we don't know what's being said and stuff. But for me, it's the transformation of the gears in which we play in. And for me, when you play fourth, fifth gear for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, first half, and then in the second half, you can knock it down to third, second gear, like that. But we go from fourth gear to first. And that's what he needs to realize, which gear is better for the team to win games. And hopefully he'll work that out.
Lee?
No, I was thinking the same sort of thing. That, like, it's a work in progress for Arnie. Next season, hopefully, we'll be a bit better in that respect, where we can have a good game for longer and not just play good for the part of the game and then fade out of it. Hopefully, we'll get better at that next season. Be a better side in that respect. But it's only really happened against like big rivals, and as shit as United are, they've still got good players, mate. They come back from 2-0, didn't they? Now Arsenal have done it on us. But yeah, something we can improve on next season. We've conceded quite a lot of goals, haven't we, for the title winning side this year?
Those two games are rivals. That's why I think
games.
there's a bit more initiative to it, innit? Like the Uniteds, the Evertons, even the Arsenal, because it's our main rivals, and remember
Arsenal, when we were shit and United were brilliant, but we still give them a game all the time, and you know what I mean. That's just not the way it is, isn't it? Sometimes. So I'm not that worried that we do it too often. We've done it a few times, like let 2-goal leads slip, but it isn't against we let a 2-goal lead slip to be against away to Newcastle. Was it 3-1 and it ended up 3-all?
But don't you see the value in? Don't you see the value in like basically instilling that? Yes, we get that you've gotten it over the line, but now establish that killer instinct that JK was talking about. Establish that hey, you know what? We're gonna make playing at the highest of levels routine. Just because we won the league doesn't mean that okay, now you play at 50%.
Nope.
Where now you can.
But 12, we've been doing that all season, though.
Brian, I'm talking about my opinion, not yours.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it. All right.
Sure. Sounds slanted, though.
It sounds
12,
slanted.
12. Do you not think we've done that?
Goodness. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go on, fella. Go on, finish. Go on.
No. Finish your thought.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I see what you're saying, all right? And normally I'm the negative one, innit?
Right. Yeah.
However, if we really look at the season, we've got over the line, and we've been playing 50%, because I know this ain't the real Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been playing first half great football, or no, bad football. Second half, we nick it, we win it. You know what I mean? So I look at it that way as well, innit? To be fair.
Can I answer then? And this is what Pops is saying. The job is done. He says 12. The job is done. It's hard for the player to stay at the top level. How about this? There are certainly players on this team that want to play. If you don't want to play at your top level, if you want to just kind of have a walk in a nice little stroll through the park, cool. Let Chiesa play. I'm sure he'll go out there and give the effort. Let Harvey Elliott got to play later on, but I'm sure he would give the effort from start to finish. And at a level that wants to win. Not saying they didn't want to win today, but saying that it didn't seem as though the level of intensity that needed to be there was there, because we scored those two games. We said, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. We downshifted, it seemed like, and all of a sudden, one goal, Arsenal's back into this game.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a mentality thing. You got to. You can't. You can say, "Oh, well, it's cool." In my opinion, you can say it's cool for you to do it, here or there, or "Oh, we won the league, so who cares about it?" No, never allow for that trait to sink into you. Whether you're up against like your whether it's a rival or whether it's the last place team, you still want to go out there and initiate that effort. In my opinion.
Yeah, it looked good in the first half, the application, and then come out for the second half a little bit lulled by what they'd done in the first half. It looked like it was like, okay, this is going to be easy, because it was easy the first half.
It was easy.
Very little, didn't it? Happened that Arsenal, but yeah,
Do you know what, 12? I see that. I do see what you're saying. You know, it's because it can creep in. Like, you know, we can be complacent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing is, the process. I mean, the Arsenal fans will probably hate that word, trust the process, in it, with their issues.
Mm-hmm.
Our process, I think we need to trust our process. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think obviously he's one of those managers that is very stern, obviously, and he's not going to be happy with that performance deep down.
He shouldn't be.
No, well, no one really wants to, in it. But I think it's excusable, perhaps, you know, on a one-off, like in the sense of like we're going to do it anyway. We're going to underestimate a team anyway. Generally, you know, a season and stuff like it happens. You know what I mean? We've done it this season, maybe a little bit more, but you know what? We didn't get hit with it. You know what I mean? We won the title. Yes, you could argue, well, you know, the cup matches and stuff like that. Yeah, we underestimated them, and we got obviously a slapping in a minute. But at the end of the day, I just think the process is we're in such a good space at the moment. You know what I mean? I think, you know, we've established that, you know, we're keeping Salah, Van Dijk, obviously. The other one's leaving, but it's important, you know what I mean? It's important that we keep these players and add, and then obviously with his new, because people are going to know how we play next season, and they're going to try to stop us. Obviously, that's what they get paid for in it, these managers, and I'm pretty sure for their brains, and I'm pretty sure he will make sure that the start of next season they ain't no messing about, you know what I mean? But right now, I see what you're saying. But we move on. We didn't lose in it. That's the thing. And to be fair, Arsenal are a good team. They're not the greatest team. You know, they've had injuries and stuff like that. They've got some dangerous players, but they're a good team. And you know, I take a draw. I'm happy with a draw. If we lost today, I would have been, well, we played a lot better, but we didn't lose in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just see a lot of I see Irishman is just really pressing the point. No one ever said that. You said it doesn't matter, man.
I don't know why people are pushing back against me. I was like,
no one. I don't even think anyone's. No one said.
Debating, why don't you want the white wine? You know, somebody walks up and says, "What do you want to drink?" I said, "A glass of red." And they, well, why don't you want white? White's much better.
Right. We all said it was all. We're giving an opinion. This is our opinion. That's all. No, I'm not even referencing what you have to say anymore.
Well, some of it sounds like you were. I'm just saying that.
No, someone's a little dag. I know I get called sensitive, but that's not the case.
No, it's like if I don't care, then why do people tell me, "Oh, you should be"? You're saying, "Oh, here the people don't care," but
no. What I am saying is that there are people that it seems that you're giving excuses for
trying to tell people how I feel. Now they're debating how I feel.
Okay, all right.
Like, I don't care.
So, all right. So this isn't directed at Irishman. I'm speaking to Pops' comment. So let's see. It says it's the third to last game of the season. Cut them some slack. It's not excusable to be up 2 and let the lead go, but it's understandable that players are in a different state of mind. I will agree that they're in a different state of mind. I just think that the complacency that Baz mentioned, you can catch it sometimes. Like, as in, this is a opportunity for some of these players to really maybe set a point. Some of these players are playing for their futures here at Anfield. You know, others are already on the beach. It almost seems like. So, like, I understand that those mentalities are at different settings, but at the very same time, I just don't think it's like a positive mentality to say, oh, well, we've won, so you know this half we can go in and you know at half mass or something, or half the word I'm looking for.
I wouldn't say
not for the players, no, not for the players, but just for how it hits home with me. That's all. Players should go out there and do their jobs. Players should go out there and win the games.
That was the Pops, not to you, by the way.
Yeah, I know it wasn't to me.
Okay.
I know. I'm just saying, but the players should go out there and do their jobs. Yeah, but I seem to be unable to land the final point. That is, to me personally, I'm cool with it.
Oh no, you've landed it. That
Yeah,
thing's in the
so
hanger.
but I don't think
we
it's
get it.
like,
We get it. We
yeah,
get
well,
it. We get it.
I'm not sure you do. But,
No, yeah, we do. We get it. It as in this game is not. My perspective of what you're saying is this game is what
No.
it is. Like as in.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. No, what I'm saying is when this season is over, I won't be looking at the final 3 results. Is what I'm saying. I won't be looking at the final 3 results of this season and saying we should have done this and we should have done that. I would love to win them all. It'd be great. Let the people have their fun. But what I'm saying is the job has been done. So to me, I'm just kicking back, and I'm not saying anybody should take it for granted or do this or do that. And go out, like I said with Jones today, go out and make your shout for the team. But to me, like I said, especially not being personal, but the couple of weeks I've had, life's too short to worry about stuff like this. We won the league. I want to go to the parade, and we can analyze the game. Obviously, we don't want bad things to happen. Nobody wants bad things to happen. Today wasn't great, but I'm not going to overanalyze and get too pissed off about it because when we come back, I don't think anybody look at, oh, but what about that 2-2 draw at Arsenal? It'd be like, no, we're going to be back. We're going to be ready to go. And you take the positives, you take the negatives, but you just roll with it. Like JK was saying earlier on, oh, these guys can say, oh, they played us and they beat us they beat the champions at Anfield. Fuck that, man. You're missing the important bit. We're champions. Yeah, so what if they got a result? I don't care. You're saying you're going to have to listen to Arsenal fans all summer talk about how they got a result at Anfield? No, I'm not. We should be listening to Liverpool fans all season talking about how we won the league. No one's going to talk about a 2-2 draw at Arsenal. Hopefully. I'm sure they won't.
Well, I think Arsenal fans will win it. You know them,
yeah.
Maybe, but yeah, let them do it.
I know what you're saying.
They want to crow out a draw.
I know what you're saying. Exactly. You're right. We should be focusing on the biggest stat of the lot. Number 20. But you can't. I guess we can't argue. We can't. Rival fans, especially Arsenal, very delusional. Like not all of them, obviously, but some of them. That's what they're going to do. Just like how, they beat Real Madrid. That's their cup. Do you know what I mean? They'll say, "Oh, we drew against the champions." But you know what? Who gives a shit? Excuse my language.
Wow, well done. Drew against the champions. Jeez. Exactly. Is there? They're going to start making new trophies for Arsenal now at this stage. We've already got the best team in the Champions League trophy. We've already. But I
understand what 12th. Sorry, I understand what 12th is saying as well. I mean, no one wants to go, just like not hop along the line, sorry, like stumble across the line. But to be fair though, 12th with that as well, I think we gave a good account of ourselves and what we can be. Right, we didn't do it in this game for the full 90 minutes, but we were very assured against a good Arsenal team with their 11 players in the first half. And I think if this game meant more, I think we would have blitzed them, to be fair.
Why not use it as a practice game then, if you want to look at it that way, to get there?
It's true.
You're playing against a team that's fighting like they need something. Well, okay.
But I guess what you're saying, but they didn't have it their way though. In the end, to be fair, didn't they? I mean, a lot of the times they were defending. We were camped. We played okay.
They want the 10 men too, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. But we had opportunities.
When they want the 10 men, they subbed in what's his name?
Saka and
what's his the defender Zelenki, right? Or not Zelenki? It's
what you mean brought on?
Calafiori.
Who they brought on?
Calafiori, Tierney.
Tierney, yeah.
And
Zinchenko. I said Zelenki. I meant Zinchenko.
Yeah.
By that time, they'd already like transitioned to trying to defend and hold it down.
Our
Well, I
fans
think
may
they
be
just-
laughing at
They had like
first.
five, if not six people on that back line at times.
Did you hear our fans singing, best team in Europe, you're having a laugh, you're having a laugh, you're having a laugh,
which
best
one
team
again?
in Europe, you're having a laugh. Enjoyed that one.
To be fair, you know what? I'm not. I'm more leaning along the same line as Brian. To be fair, you know what? At this moment in time, I'm on the beach myself. You understand? Like, there is no meaning to these games now. Yes, I know. You know, we still got two more games, right? Is it two more games we got, or one?
Yeah.
Two? Yeah, two.
Yeah, Brighton and Palace.
Brighton and Palace. Yeah. So I mean, like, we're going to play against a good Brighton team.
Brighton is next Monday night.
That's
Monday
right,
night football.
and then the final Sunday against Crystal Palace, who are they're in the FA Cup, aren't they? They're in the cup, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
Two
I
for
could go
SA
what Brian was saying. You know what it is, bro? We live in the social media world, and so what it is, like when your team wins, you're chilled, ain't you? Like you got this like arrogance about you. As soon as you give the other content creators any ammunition, they'll be after like just talking shit and that. And that's in the atmosphere then. It's like football. As soon as you give the opposition a little bit of a taste, bang, they're trying to take over. So for me, Liverpool winning games is our mission. It just makes me proud. Like when we do shows, I'm like, you know what, we're the fucking best. Simple. It's like it's an energy. So for me, these games do they mean anything? Yeah, they do. It's a Liverpool match. So even if it's a friendly, it means something. You know? So it's because we live in a social media world now. And that's like the main thing about it. I don't want to see these jokers saying, oh, we beat the champions at Anfield. I know you might not think it's nothing, but for me, it means something.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
no, okay,
we lost
no, I
to
know
Forest
to you.
at home.
That's what I'm saying to you. It's like that's what I was trying to say. From like, I understand everybody has their own, but for me right now, I'm the one saying like I'm totally cool. Yeah, everybody feels differently to me because everybody feels differently about everything. To me, it's just a more throwaway thing. In terms of, I'm not sitting here saying these games don't matter. We should play badly. It doesn't matter. It's just like, look, when it all shakes out at the end of the season, it won't matter in the bigger thing. But right now, of course, it matters if you play badly, if you don't do that. But also, yeah, if you don't want to look, if you don't want to hear Arsenal fans talking shit, don't listen to Arsenal fans.
Well, I also think
they were creeping up in there,
I think that we had an opportunity. I just think more so than not, we were all saying, a majority of us were saying that we want to finish the season strong. We want to finish the season strong. After reeling from a PSG loss, after reeling from a finals loss, we had an Everton win. That was a 1-0 win, right? And we showed fight. We showed some real fight towards the end of that Everton game, but that could have easily been a draw. We lost at Fulham in a game that was shambolic in itself. And then we showed some fight in that game too, but we ended up coming up short. And then we played three teams that we absolutely, if we had lost, it would have been a whole different story. But three teams we should have beaten, being West Ham, Leicester, and Spurs. That assured us the league. It helped that we had our competition was faltering and had their focus on other things possibly. But finishing the season strong would have been getting over the 90 point mark. Bayesian Pops, he can pretend like he didn't say that the entire year, pretty much, along with myself. But if that's cool and he's just like going to shrug it off that we're not going to get there, then okay. Okay, he just admitted it. All right. But you know, but like it.
I'll tell you. No,
I'll land right here. But we can't dismiss the fact that we have the Chelsea game. Okay, it was going to be a difficult game. You know, we understand it's the game after winning the league. Everyone's going to maybe have a little bit of a party in them. this Arsenal game was important to some of us for banter reasons and all, but all the same, it was important to just have a win. We've had a loss, now a draw. These next two games aren't any easier. And I don't want to kind of like, I just wanted to set a tone, set a message, set a level, a standard level. Whereas that we play to, no matter if we got the trophy in the bag already or not, just play to that level. Continue to grow with the team. Continue to utilize these opportunities to either find out if these players are worthy of playing on this team next season, or even that can grow together to that next level even more so. The first thing that you're talking about was whether Curtis Jones was going to be playing, was how bad he was going to play today. That was what you talked about in the roll call.
Yeah,
So,
it was
I mean,
called
like,
humor. It was a joke. It was a joke. I'm sorry if it didn't come across as a joke, but it was a joke.
okay. All right. I didn't get. I thought you're being serious. But okay. If it was a joke, it's a joke. Then, but I thought, like, yeah, we're utilizing these games as ways to measure players. JK wanted to see a better Dominic Szoboszlai today. I thought you wanted to see a better Curtis Jones today. These are things I wanted to see. I wanted to see possibly if I wanted to see Chiesa be a part of the lineup, but if he wasn't, then I wanted to see what Nunez could do in this game, or even what a Harvey Elliott. Some players are actually probably going to be here next year or possibly going to be here. I'm looking at these games as important games to me because I'd like to see where our team has to go. We're not playing in that Club World Cup tournament. So it's not like we're going to have more time to see this team develop into what Slot finally wants. If this is the last auditions we have for the players that are going to be on the fringe, I'd like to see them get the opportunities. I'd like to see them perform well. I'd like to see these players grow together and continue to mold into a real cohesive unit that doesn't have any means of breaking down, whether they have the trophy in the bag or not. Because if you have that winning mentality, it just becomes, it's easier to draw on it than it is to call on it when you think it's like a light switch that you can turn on and off. It's really not. Just keep that.
Well, can I just say, when people talk
on.
about us finishing the season strongly and finishing with a winning mentality, would anybody, I'd be interested in any disagree that winning the league is finishing the season strongly and creates a winning mentality? Like, are we that weak? Are we that fragile that a couple of on the beach results are going to take away from the winning mentality that we've created by winning a league title this season?
That's it. I don't think it's as easy as we imagine to get yourself up. I certainly expected it away at Chelsea. I knew there was going to be one of those days that day. I just sensed it today. I was more optimistic that we'd be able to, beat Arsenal and sort of shut their fans up, sort of thing, about the idea that they're, whatever their fans have got in their head. It would have been nice to have shut them up by beating them today. It was mad for it to happen at the beginning, but when it didn't at the end, I can't say it was angry or anything like normally it would be, but it didn't matter, did it really, at the end? But at least we got the first half. They showed me the team that I know and love in the first half, and then the second half was a bit wishy-washy, wasn't it? That down into it. But I know what you're saying. I really wanted us to do it and sort of sign off in style this season, almost forget about the last two games and just win this. But, it didn't happen. And as I said earlier, they are a good team. We can't deny them that. It just would have been funny to beat them. But, we played all right in patches, didn't we? What did you think of Curtis today? Anyway, yeah, bringing him up. I thought he was okay. He wasn't brilliant, was he? Well, he did all right. What did you guys think of Curtis today?
Just okay, as usual, just okay. A decent shot in the first half, and after that,
get much of a
like I said, I didn't see the second half, so I can't go.
Curtis for me would have been probably average to above average for a shot.
Yeah.
about a 5 to a 6. I mean, again, I know 12, you're not going to like it, but it did mean something. But in the long scheme of things, we've won it. I think these players would have played a lot better, if it meant something. They didn't play that bad though. That's the thing. They just maybe switched off, but they still could have won it. I know we're obviously it's like we're talking about players at the moment and that, yeah. But am I the only one that thinks that, the game was okay? I mean, the thing is, Arsenal, you can't underestimate them as well. They're a good opponent. Right, they didn't have Declan Rice in there, and they didn't have Gabriel. Yeah, they're one of their two main players. Yeah, but
they're the best. They're the best team in the Champions League, both. They're the best team in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I know that was comedy.
I didn't want to obviously don't like Arsenal, but their pops are they drew, and we did, like, we've done what we've done most of the season. You know what I mean? We've not really kicked into, like, the top gears, but we didn't lose. So I don't know. I mean, I thought everyone played okay. I mean, apart from maybe Salah. Salah obviously had a few chances. You could probably say the same thing with Gakpo, Diaz, doing their usual stuff.
Robbo should have been the savior today.
I think Robbo done pretty well. I'm one of Robbo's, like, critics, yeah. Of recent times, isn't it? And it's because obviously, he's not the same Robbo as before. But I thought he done really well today. I thought, he done.
I would say he did above average to good today. I didn't think he did. I didn't think he had a great game, but he had an above average to good game.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we were doing
he had an assist. He did get an assist today.
Yeah, he opened up the game.
Yeah, 7.5 for me to an 8. I think he done pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's like a C to like a C plus maybe, or C plus to like a B minus, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Curtis Jones, yeah, I mean, he was okay. He was okay.
Really wasn't bad. The way this World Club crap started. Like, I'm really glad that we've got the full summer off to rest and recuperate, and Arne can be thinking all the time, can't he, about what he can improve next season without having anything else on his mind and nothing else going on.
Yeah, Mark, you are so right. If Robbo could only put the ball on the net. Oh my gosh, he finally does, and of course it's a foul on Ibu.
It's the World Cup in America, is it? Is it being held in America? Yeah, in the US, the World Club Cup.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I can find that out.
I read that. Somewhere the other day. I read that it's held in America.
Yeah, there's a warm up for the World Cup.
12th, I wanted to ask you something on Connor Bradley, because earlier on you mentioned it. I know you're not ripping him up.
It is in the USA, by the way. You're right.
Yeah, it's a warm up for the World Cup.
World Cup is FIFA Club World Cup is in being held in MetLife, like Hard Rock State, like, so basically New York, Miami.
Yeah, I liked the '94 one, even though England weren't in it, like. But I like the '94 World Cup. It was an enjoyable one, that one.
It's going to be held at, I'll tell you real quick, actually. It's going to be held at Atlanta, Cincinnati, which is in Ohio, Miami, Nashville. It's going to be held in New Jersey. It's called, people think of it as New York, but it's not New York. It's New Jersey. Charlotte, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Los Angeles, California. I thought Miami was. Oh, yeah, I did say Miami. Los Angeles, California. It's going to be at Philly, again at Lincoln Financial Field. Big up to the Eagles. And Seattle and Washington, D.C. That's where the Club World Cup is going to be held. Yes. So
Connor Bradley.
Connor Bradley, right.
Yeah. Did you think he had a bit of a shaky game today, you said?
I thought that he had I will watch the game back to get a more precise, like, evaluation of like rating them. But he was definitely close on that Saka challenge to, I think it was just Saka or Martinelli. I can't remember who it was.
I think
It was Martinelli. Where he got in just before he did clip the leg of Martinelli, but he did just get maybe a hair before a touch of the ball. I thought he was good. I would say he was like, I thought he was good. I thought he was a little shaky at times though.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I thought he done pretty well today, to be fair. I mean, it's typical Conor Bradley, isn't it, really? Like he's one of them full-blooded defenders.
Bradley struggled with Trossard, but did well against Martinelli. I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
Yeah, to be fair, Trossard played well for them. Those guys he's probably one of their better players today. But I think he handled it well. And remember, between now and when Trent leaves, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him in it, really, like to see is he the one, and he's under like some real scrutiny.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think he handled himself quite well today. And obviously, yeah. I mean, like,
do you want to hear this real quick? His stats were he only had 14 passes in this game, and he was 11 out of 14 so that's like 79% for passing. But it's not very. I mean, that's not a lot of passes.
But his defending, what was that like?
But defending in aerial duels, he was 4 out of 5. That's excellent. Ground duels, 4 out of 9. So a little bit shaky on the ground duels. Lost the ball 7 times. Committed 3 fouls. Was fouled twice. Was offside once. And was 0 out of 1 for his dribble attempts.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I just obviously going back to him, I think there is a lot of pressure on the guy in it. But I think he'll be okay. I think he's personally, I would like to see someone else come in to give him a challenge. However,
I agree with that.
However, I don't want to lose him. I do actually want him to get like quite a good amount of games because I love this guy. I really do. Like, it's been a while that I've seen a traditional defender. Obviously, since Trent's been there for a while, innit? Then we had Klein beforehand, and Klein was going up and down pretty well. But I like Conor Bradley. The only thing that worries me with him is injuries, in it, because he will go into those tackles. He will, like, this is the only thing I worry about. Everything else, everything else, I think he's a full-blooded. He's like a Carragher. Do you know what I mean? Like a full-blooded defender. And when he does attack, I think he just needs to obviously work on maybe his crosses a little bit more. Because there've been times where he has overlapped and gone into the box and stuff like that, and it hasn't been to great standard. But we got to remember as well, how many seasons has he, started, that became a regular? It was only last year, innit? Mostly. Was it last year? So
guy became a regular,
yeah. So I think he's not bad. He's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, obviously Trent leaving, I'm not in terms of what Trent obviously reminded us what we're going to miss. Obviously, he had like put in a few great balls in earlier on towards the end. But I mean, I'm not worried. I'm not worried as much, barring potential injuries. Maybe needs to be a little bit more conservative if he's to avoid injuries. But I thought he done quite well today, and I'm really happy. And I think obviously with the fans, I know they were probably doing it as a statement to Trent, but giving confidence of cheering him, you know what I mean, was shows how much the fans think of him at Anfield. And if he gets that kind of support all the time, I'm sure he'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think when you look at him, I said he's like a Sunday league type of defender. I mean that in the traditional way, in the way he gets stuck in. He's not afraid of a tackle. Because we've been used to Trent, we ain't seen that in a while. So for me, he's got the basics right there. For me, he'll improve with his crossing and everything the more he plays. And when he knows he's going to be starting every game, you mentally get better as well, I believe. So for me, this season he's been in and out. He can't really get consistent because Trent, he's the best in the world. He's going to play there. But now he's got a chance to just stay fit and actually improve certain parts of his game that'll make him a better player. I've got no problems with him. The question is for next season, what do we do? Do we buy a right back or do we let this guy be the right back and get someone under him? So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think, brilliant, man. I think, to be fair, I'd for 30 odd million quid or 35 or whatever his release clause is, I would want to bring Frimpong in. If that's what it is. I mean, Frimpong is more better probably on the attacking side of things, you know what I mean? But it'd be nice to have obviously Bradley there as well. Like in terms of our in-game management, you know, if we need a little bit of creativity, because we're going to lose that, you know, Frimpong can probably offer us that. And if we need to shore it up and stuff, you know, we can always bring Bradley on, and depending on who we play as well, we can adjust accordingly. But if we're just going to have Bradley and not maybe bring someone in, then I think it will be a bit hasty. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pops, I know he's not really a right back, but, you know, when I look at it, I know this might, you know, you might bring your eyebrows up, but when you look at it, I don't even think Trent's a right back, is he really? I think he's, you know.
You can tell Bradley used to be a winger, can't you? When you watch Bradley, you can see he was a winger first of all before he got turned into a fullback. But he's got loads of good stuff in his game, and the more he plays, he's going to improve, and he's just got to stay fit. He's got to stay fit next season, like when we start next season, and make the spot his own. And you know, get used to it, like his role in the team. So yeah, we just got to keep our fingers crossed, haven't we, on Bradley? We know he's got the talent. We know he's a different player from Trent, and I'm glad about that. You don't want to replace like for like all the time. Let's have something different in the new era. So yeah, bring it on. I've got faith in him. He was at Bolton, wasn't he, on loan? Bradley.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Some of their fans were online. There was a thing about Bradley, and I looked in the comment section. There's Bolton fans going, "Oh, he's bossed him." I hope
he was their player of the year, wasn't he? When he was over there, he was brilliant.
Yeah, they were saying, "Mate, he's fantastic," and that. I was like, "Oh, thank you." Yeah, he's a good player and a good prospect.
What do you think, 12th? I mean, like, who would you want to bring in? I mean, there's obviously the Nottingham Forest defender as well we mentioned before. He's not bad either, especially if we can get him on a free or a nominal fee. I would like that. But
It's money, innit? It's make believe thinking that we're going to really spend money on a left back, a right back, a centre back, a DM, two strikers. I mean, if Chiesa leaves, we'd have to just place him as well. I mean, what do you think about Jota? Do you reckon he might be leaving now? Like, I was looking at him today, and that's all I could think. Looking at him, like when he give close-ups of him, I was just thinking, do we really want him here anymore? Like, has he got a future here? Does he think he has a future here?
I don't think they'll replace Chiesa because Chiesa was never here. If that makes sense, in a polite.
That will just go back to having 5 forwards the way we were before Chiesa come.
And I think if we lose maybe 2 strikers, we'll bring 1 in. But Jota is like I said before. I think he's just injuries that's just got him in it. Really, I mean, in terms of his finishing and on his day, he's a great player. Núñez, obviously, Núñez is Núñez, isn't it? Really, I see a body language of Núñez now where I think he's not bothered now, is he? Really? I mean,
why should it be? He won number 20.
Yeah, no, but
right? Why can't he have the same excuses now? Oh, he's a champion.
Before he's 20, Because, I mean, he wasn't fancied quite a lot of this season, was he? I think we know where that's going.
Okay, so it's okay for Nunes to not give a shit, but okay, cool.
Yeah,
Here we
I
go.
think,
You know
yeah,
what?
Well,
I-
if you didn't sense the comedy in that, then come
Yeah,
on.
just checking. No, just checking. It's okay for
That
Nunes.
was the whole point. Yeah. That's
That's
right.
being one of Diogo Jota's biggest fans initially. I've come to the conclusion this season,
Oh.
fitness-wise, that it's finished for him. And I do want a replacement for him as well as a replacement for Darwin. I hope we can do that. It'll make us a lot more threatening. I mean, it'll take the goal burden off Mo, hopefully, like a bit next season. But, you know, we still have Gakpo and Diaz, wouldn't we? And if Chiesa left, we'd have... You know, Diaz can play on the right if we need in place of Mo, can't he? Say, like, if Mo goes to AFCON, we haven't bought another player.
No,
We
we
need
got to
a
bring in someone.
Pops and
I
We
would
need
love
a
to
league.
bring in someone there, a left footer, like Mbuemo, but have we got the money to buy him as well as, like, a replacement for Jota and Nunes, plus a DM and a centre-back and a left-back and a right-back? Have we got enough money for all that at once? We could get a free right back, maybe. I don't know who. I haven't got any names for you, but there must be one half decent one who could come in and do a
Well,
job.
all I know is on a free. The Nottingham Forest guy that got talked up.
Yeah, I believe they've taken up his extra year option, though.
That's that.
Somewhere. Yeah.
I know.
You're not going to get somebody for free. You're not going to get some random.
Yeah,
free
but you know
right
something.
back that's good enough to play.
I know Pops is saying he's not a right back, yeah, but I mean he plays along the wing back role, doesn't he? Well, you're trying to tell me we're not going to get anyone on a free, but you know what? 35 million or something like that for Frimpong. What that's in FSG territory in terms of spending. And I think
I'm okay with Joe as a right back option, like more than Giroud. I think Joe plays better. Is a better option at right back than Giroud.
There's no way we go into a season with relying.
The thing is, we can't rely on Joe, and I love
we can't rely on Joe as our.
We can't rely on Joe, but at the same time, if we're going to keep him, I want him to play in one position. That might help him in terms of his injuries, because he's playing left back, he's playing right back, he's playing centre back. You know what I mean? It's different positions.
I like him as a defensive option if you're trying to close a game out. You know, like just when we used to sub him on for Trent, I always liked us doing that. You know, to try and like close a game out. But yes, from the start, I prefer to see him at right back than left back anyway, although he can do a job at left back. But I prefer him there than Giroud. I think Giroud's a bit tall for that position. Like, I don't like full-backs to be too tall. Joe doesn't suffer from that. Like, Giroud's a bit too tall, I think. And he can play there and that, but I wouldn't want him there like long-term, over months and months, you know what I mean? Say Bradley was out for 3 months, I wouldn't be happy seeing Giroud playing there for 3 months. He's a centre-half, mate.
I think the bigger question is who's going to be our left back going forward, and more so than our right back. I can definitely get behind Connor Bradley being our starting right back. Finding out who's going to be our starting left back next year is, I think, the bigger question. Sure, we might have to find someone to supplement or platoon with Connor, or even maybe challenge him for that role. But,
been watching videos
with the sorry, I was going to complete by saying with the choices that we have for left back, there are some very good choices. I think there's better choices at left back than there are at right back for us. I mean, like I haven't seen much of Vanderson. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to catch up with that, with watching clips and watching some game footage. For Frimpong, I have seen him play before, but like is Frimpong hands down the choice? Whether you can sit him a right back or not. But if you look at the left side, different story. You can go with Hato. You can go with Kirkez. You can go with maybe Ait Nouri. Like the only real player that I would like to see in that role would be maybe a Hakime. From PSG. But other than that, there's maybe a Pedro Porro, maybe, or something like that. But there's not standout right backs. Left back, you might have a little bit more of a chance of finding a gem I think personally.
I think Ant Nouri at Wolverhampton is like a Frimpong. To be fair, I think he's more of an attacker than a defender. I don't really. He doesn't. He doesn't make me feel like yes, this will be a good left back. But yeah, I take your point. You're 100% right. There's more options in left back than there is at right back. Is a bit of a premium, isn't it? Right back. However, we've got a solid defender in it. I think in Connor Bradley for real, like you said. But it'd be. I'm looking at the creativity side of things, innit? We ain't gonna spend big on a number 10. Let's face that. We know that. So I think what it is, in my idea of bringing Frimpong in, is the fact that Connor Bradley gets his games, in it. Like he for me is his main thing in it. But if we need some kind of creativity from the right back role or change, we could potentially bring him in, with that option. But left back, I think it will be Kirkes. I think he's just so heavily linked. I think his head's already turned, and it's going to be difficult. Hato is another great shout as well. I don't know about this Anderson that you're mentioning. I don't know nothing about him.
Vanderson.
Vanderson.
Yeah.
Oh, the right back, Brazilian right back. And I don't know nothing about him. He's just a name to me.
He's a right back or a left back?
He's a right back.
Monaco.
He's at Monaco. Yeah, he's at Monaco.
Loads of good players have come from Monaco, from Brazil to Monaco, and then went on somewhere else. We'll see, see what he's like.
We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see.
But just looking at Frimpong's stats this season, bro, he's played like 33 Bundesliga games, 5 goals, 6 assists. Champions League, 10 games, 5 assists. And then like FA Cup, DFB Pokal, 4 games, 1 assist. So you can get assists, so that's good.
This is what I'm saying. That would be perfect. That would be like a Trent in, like obviously not as great as Trent back in his heyday sort of thing. But, we need to make things easier for Salah these days, innit? And Salah's here for another 2 years. He's going to want to hit records. He ain't going to run back and forth. So if you can get someone that lays it on a plate for him, especially on that side as well, then, and especially at that kind of price as well, like if he does really have this risk release clause, it just makes sense to like get him because he's like he's a Champion League player. He's won obviously the Bundesliga as well. He's got a winning mentality. And that's
who are you speaking on?
Frimpong.
Frimpong. Okay.
And he's good as well. He's good.
Yeah, he didn't win. I don't think he's won it. You said he didn't win a Champions League. That's why I was confused.
No. I mean, he's got experience in the Champions League.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's won the Bundesliga in it. So I mean, he's a winner in it in the sense. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Counts as homegrown as well, doesn't he? Because of his time at City.
100%.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Perfect. He'd be the perfect signing. I think Nalante don't really like him. But when I'm looking at his stats, looking at his price, it's for me a no-brainer. Him being Dutch sort of adds a little bit to it as well. The manager could talk to him, Van Dijk and everyone, so it'd be good.
Well, maybe if we bought a cheaper left back than Kirkhouse, I know there's Dijk who plays for Bruges, and he's ripping it up. He's like the best out of the, he was outside of the top 5 leagues. He's like the best left back for stats. They've only had him about 18 months apparently. He's doing really well for Bruges. This Dijk, and he'd probably be about half the price, or maybe a little bit more than half the price of what Bournemouth want for Kirkhouse. Then maybe we could buy a right back as well. I mean, we might not even buy a defensive midfielder. We're all open, we do, but we might not do that. Might not happen. Endo might stay, mightn't he?
Oh yeah, Curtis Jones. Yeah, Curtis Jones almost let up an early goal actually.
Oh
holding on to the ball. I'm watching the highlights in the background. I forgot about that play. I don't know if I might have been away from the screen on that play, where he gave the ball away in the box and Arsenal nearly scored. Saka had a chance early too.
I've always liked Curtis, and I still do. I support him. I think he's a good player, but I'm looking at him now, and thinking, what's Slot thinking about him? how big a part are you going to play next season? Are we going to have new midfielders coming in or aren't we? It's just that wait, isn't it? That torture waiting for the transfer window to see who we actually do go
Curtis
for.
Jones will be here next season, 100%, irrespective, and I think he'll have a part where he'll have that same sort of part as what he's done so far this season. Like he'll play maybe half the games or 3/4 of the game or whatever it is. I think they're going to prioritize a left back. They'll need to get something sorted up front as well. I mean, I don't even know about the right back situation. I don't even think they're going to invest in a centre back, to be fair. I hope they do, but I think they're going to look at right back. Do we need one? Can we cope? Which I don't think we will, because he has mentioned it even in his press conference. Was it over the weekend that Bradley's a great defender, but he's not. He's had injuries, so he's already like onto him in the sense of right. Okay, so that's what gives me the confidence that we'll in a right back. Left back is up in the air because we got Tsimikas. Obviously, I know these are not. Some people will say that these players they don't want them or whatever, but Tsimikas ain't asked to leave. Robertson ain't asked to leave. I don't know how long they've got on their contract, sort of thing. So I don't know. But obviously, Kirkes has just been mentioned so many times. There's got to be some kind of like truth in maybe they are looking for a left back.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, midfield's gone quiet. No one's mentioned anything about midfield, like DMs and stuff like that. So I think it will probably be a striker that there will be in the market. So I think these three options are going to be most likely. And when you look at it, if it's 3 players we bring in, that's probably about right. And on top of like maybe selling a player, it would probably be an FSG kind of like typical summer transfer. And we've got our goalkeeper in as well, our new keeper.
Yeah. Let's look at some of these plays here. There were some really, really. Curtis did have a good shot. I thought when he had the swivel, he was going to score that.
The keeper saved that. That was a good save from the keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Just got his right hand to it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Fingertip or something.
Lucho had a. How would you rate Lucho's game today?
Lucho, I'd say 6.5 to 6.5, really, to 7 because he got a goal. I just think, you know what it is. I know we've had this over the years. Do you know what it is with him? Yeah, he's brilliant in terms of his ball ability, and carrying the ball. But you know what? Once you beat your man, don't go back and beat him again, man. Seriously, that just do something. Take a shot or put a cross in. Don't go back. We know you're taking
right. This isn't.
That's the only thing that stops it. And you know what? I would probably argue with a similar thing with Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo. We know what Cody Gakpo is going to do. Put the ball into him.
That's an interesting take. Expand. Yeah, I was going to say, please expand on that, because I always think that Cody's not a dribbling merchant. He's more of like he cuts in and he'll just fire his shot.
He's not, but he's for me he's a bit too one dimension. The ball's going to come to him. He's not going to run onto the ball. The ball's going to come onto him. He's going to use his broad, his body to shield the ball. And then what's he going to do? Whip it into the far corner to Salah or someone like that. But I do want to see him. Yeah, and that's a great point, Marque. He's not really a great one-on-one, but he needs to do a bit better with his finishing, because I think he's one of those players that has a good shot on him, but he's just too wayward with it sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, you were just saying.
Yeah. He's got some real quality moments in him, hasn't he? He's a different player than he has.
Clutch moments.
He has some real quality moments in him, doesn't he, from time to time? And he is a really good player. I'm a big fan of Cody, and I think he will get better over the next couple of years, in the league. I think he'll keep on improving in this team.
He's done well. He's done well. Don't get it twisted. I think this is probably one of his better seasons as well, in terms of consistency. But
Yeah.
I want to see a little bit more from Cody. Do you know what I mean? Like a bit more input. I mean, his stats probably are quite good, but in terms of like his game, like, you know, in game, I think he could do a little bit better. You know, that before he scored that goal today, he wasted some opportunities, and those on a day that we need to win this game, sort of thing. Yeah, as in like title still going on or champion or, you know, whatever. It needs to be a bit more clinical.
Yeah, I'm happy with him.
That was a well
choice for the left anyway. For the left.
But he wasn't bad, 12th man, Diaz. He wasn't bad, but I would say he wasn't poor. I'd say above average, 6.5 to 7. I'll give him a 7 because obviously he put his goal. He wasn't bad. But,
I backed him to score. I said he'd open the scoring for us. Wasn't him, it was Cody, but I did back him to score. And he did me the privilege of scoring. So, yeah, well done, Lucho. I thought he was okay aside from that. He had some dangerous-ish moments aside from the goal. Flitted about and did his Lucho thing, didn't he? His best he could in that first half with the sun shining and that. It was in the game less in the second half, like when we faded out of it, and then he got subbed, didn't he? But, quite decent in the first half. I think we all just want to see a centre forward though next season in that position. You know, we have some description or just whatever, just a player who can play there. Who can.
I tell you what, I badly want Isak. Pause. I want this guy at Liverpool, man. I mean, I think his finishing's good. I get it. He might not be the not finished thing, but you know, the answer to everything. Yeah, but you know, he's. I think he will work well in a fluid forward. You know, when it comes to him and Salah. Could you imagine him and Salah? I mean, they've got the pace, they've got the trickery, and you know, every time I've watched Isak, composure in terms of his composure, his finishing, they've been good. Salah, he normally is on target and stuff like that, but he does waste a few chances. But I would definitely love to see Isak, but whether they spend that money, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of secretly hoping Newcastle don't qualify for Europe, so then it makes it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you got to stay. All the fans saying, you got to stay. Them winning the League Cup and getting top 4 could make him stay. So it's gonna be interesting.
It could do, but I think you know what, it could be one of those moments where it's one of those things where they've won a trophy, they've qualified for Europe. I've done my bit. Now, please let me go to no disrespect to Newcastle, but more established team in Liverpool, and they will. I think he'll go with some sort of blessing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess we'll see as well. I mean, he's the one that I want in this summer. The biggest signing I want to see is Isak. At least Isak. If I get Isak, I'm happy. Even if we don't get a left back or a right back, I'm thinking Isak is the one.
Okay.
With him and Salah on the pitch,
I'm sorry. I just think whenever I hear someone say he's the one I want, or think of Grease, I think you're going to start singing Grease or something. Yeah, exactly.
I hated that film when I was a kid because my sister liked it when video recorders first come out. Like, she'd bring her mates in and they put it on. There's only one telly in the house in them days in the mid-80s. Like, VHS was come out and they'd sit there watching it and singing it and be like, this is dog shit, this, I hate this. But I've come to not hate it as I've grown up. I've forgotten what I felt as a little boy and I can see it for what it is now, a bit of fun.
There you go. There you
go, Lee. There you go, bro.
As long as you don't come out in a leather jacket and smoking a cigarette or something like that.
Well, what did we have as boys?
White t-shirt.
The Warriors. Warriors that come out. Everyone was into that when I was like a little boy. I was about 8. Remember that? Have you seen that film, The Warriors?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what boys were into and girls were into, like Grease, when videos first come out.
Oh man, watching the last play back here, the 95th minute goal that was taken away. from Robbo. I just want to see one more angle on it. He did go in pretty wildly. But that's funny. He probably would have been offsides, but that's just funny.
All right, guys, I'm going to shoot off.
If that's
All right, Buzz, take it easy, man.
Yeah,
big up
everybody. Everyone in the chat,
Yeah.
make sure you're liking this as well. And
we're gonna be ending here in the next like 5 minutes here anyway. So,
okay.
The ending was that was Lurch from Manchester United. That would have been a goal. That still would have been a goal, probably. I don't know. Tough.
Was Robertson offside? Was he offside?
It was close. It was close. Let me see. It was really close to him being offside. Let me see.
I don't think Kanate really needed to put his hands up. I think he should have just chilled. You know what I mean? For Kanate, man. I was thinking. I wanted to ask you guys quickly a question.
Me too,
like,
again,
I think there's going to be
he definitely sold it.
He definitely what?
He sold the foul.
He's watching highlights.
Yeah.
Watching highlights.
What?
I'll watch it again later anyway.
No,
Yeah, but I was going to ask a question. Yeah, which guys do you reckon need to go or will leave? Like for me, I'm ready to let Curtis and Kanate leave. Jota, Darwin, of course, and say maybe an Endo. You know, but for me, Kanate and Curtis, yeah, I think it's time to move on.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, I said we were going to leave in 5 minutes. You didn't have to light a match, light the fuse, and say, "All right, let's blow this place up." All right.
Well, I was looking at a few of the players today, thinking I could easily get used to the idea of you not being here next season. I won't name them all. Like there's a few of them, but Harvey was one. I was looking at Harvey when he come on, thinking, yeah, you've done well for us and that, and you're a talent, but it's not going to happen here. So you might as well move on. I had that in my mind like today when I was watching it.
But for me, Curtis was
Harvey with his ringlets getting picked on by some old man.
Say Henley. Say that last part again.
No, I was joking, saying
okay.
Harvey and his ringlets getting picked on by some old man, some nasty old man. But yeah, I think I've seen enough of Harvey now. I thought he had a future like until this season, but looking at it and the way he plays and where he plays, I don't think he's got a future under Slot, where he'd feature very often. Let's put it that way, any more than he has this season. I just can't see it. So, is there a point to keeping him? You have to ask the question then, don't you? And
true, because when you look at Curtis,
don't get me wrong, I like the lad and everything. He's been great, and I wish him all the best, like all our ex-players, like Sen's included. I won't forget you, lad. Just get that in there. But no, I'll be happy for him if he gets a career somewhere. I just don't think it's going to happen here for Harvey. Is it like? Sadly,
go abroad. I think you need to go abroad, Germany or somewhere like that. He'll be okay.
It's another player.
He can't go out on loan. There's no purpose there's no point of him going out on loan other than if it's a move that is eventually going to get him situated and
no, I would be totally against a loan.
Yeah. He's got to either be be transferred or he's got to be they've got to decide that he's meant for this team.
United are having a hard time getting Betis to cough anything up for Anthony. Like they're trying hard to get 25. I heard, like, and Betis won't even commit to that. 25 million.
I think with The thing with Harvey is, bro, is that we all think he's about 28, 29. He's only 21, is he? Something?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for me, he's at an age where he should go abroad. So I'm happy for him to go on loan to play regular football. It depends on what team he goes to, of course. But for me, he's not right now at his age, 21. He's been on the scene for such a long time. We're thinking, oh, this guy's pushed on in his age. Let's sell him.
He's an excellent
He's a good player, bro. But
from the start of games, innit? Like, how
there you
often
go.
start games and really stand out? And when he stands out, it's always coming off the bench, usually, innit? Like, late in games.
That's the thing. Yeah, but for me, I don't mind Elliot going Germany, Italy for a year or two, just to get that regular game time. And then if he's good enough at the end of it, or you think, you know what, come back to Liverpool now and get your career underway, you might get a regular spot, then cool. If not, well, sell him and maybe put a release clause by his back or whatever.
Hasn't he? Harvey's spoken himself on it, saying, I'm not happy with the way things are this season with not playing, you know what I mean? Not happy, which you'd expect, like, you know, from any player. So it's what's going to happen now, isn't it? Like, if he sees a future for himself. The thing is, though, like, him going out, like, it's just another player to replace in the squad, or not, as the case may be. He could leave and not be replaced. You just don't know what's going to happen, do you? Interesting to think about it, though, obviously, like, with the transfer window rapidly approaching. Isn't it twice this summer because of the Club World Cup? It opens, then shuts, then opens. Okay, that'll do me as long as it's open.
Yeah, something like that.
We need players. Yeah, I don't think I'll watch much of this Club World Cup. I might have a little peek at a few games, like at the end of it, at the arse end of it, like the business end. But how many teams is in it? Like, you've extended a lot, haven't you? Isn't there about like 30 odd teams in it now? It's not on this Club World Cup from all manner of places.
Yeah. This Club World Cup is going to be big, very, very big for a lot of teams because there's an opportunity to win a lot of money. To be honest with you, you win a lot of money for partaking in this. I don't know what the splits are. I don't know what the splits are for like just participating off the top of my head, but I know that it's something like 100 million or something like that if you win the tournament, something like along those lines.
I'm interested to
a lot
see
of money.
Like if they play their biggest players, you know what I mean? Or they only play during a couple of games.
How come we're not invited or not involved? I didn't even know that.
We didn't qualify.
Okay.
Thank heaven.
Basically.
Thank heaven.
In a weird way, I'm sort of happy we ain't got that. There's no Euros and no World Cup coming up. So this summer, our players will get a break. You know what I mean? Bless up Norman in the chat as well. I hope you enjoyed the game. Were the Arsenal fans booing, Norman? If I could ask you a question. Were the Arsenal fans booing when Trent came on? Because when I was listening to it, I did hear a lot of boos. I was really sort of shocked.
They were booing. There were people that were booing. There are people that were clapping too, though. This is Brian pointed out. I think that there are people. There are boos, but the boos kind of. They're probably there, as Brian said. They're probably had microphones. You know, really like targeting the. I don't know if they're in because they have the microphones where it's like the dish that you can just point it at a section. And that section will pick up. You'll be able to pick up the sounds and of that area. Most likely, when they saw the reaction, the producers were like, "Yeah, make sure you get that on
yeah, of course,
on air." This is what a lot of people were wanting to see. So, and it's unfortunate. I don't know. I wouldn't have booed. I wouldn't have booed him. I wouldn't have cheered him, but I would have like politely applauded him. Like I would have like, you know, appreciated the fact of hopefully he can. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say actually, but hopefully he could have come on and won. Made a difference in this game. So. Fans booing, but many silent and some clapping. The silence is as much of a reaction, to be honest. I agree with that too. Norm is saying they do have a right to boo. It's not what he would do, but it's their choice. I agree with that completely, Norm. Bernie's saying Owen said he felt like crying because we turned on him too. Michael Owen needs to just go get a hug. Come on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Give Trump one.
It's like doing a national anthem. Like, you know, I'm not into that personally, but I get why people do it. The only good thing about that is laughing at some of the salty, like, royalists and that online going, you scousers, you bastards, and all this, like, about doing the national anthem.
Michael Owen was one of my favorite players. He's one of the reasons why I follow Liverpool. But, jeez, man.
And De Bruyne.
This moment is not about you, and it is not. And your situation is dramatically different.
You know what? Like for me, Owen, I don't ever view him as a Liverpool player. He was great when he first came on the scene. Come on, he was like wow. He was wow.
Jeez,
no, I don't view Owen as a Liverpool player. I don't. Yeah, even Torres, bro. Mm-hmm.
JK is like AKA the Unibomber up in here. He is just like he is just dropping bombs everywhere. Jeez, I don't even know if I'm allowed to even say that on that word's gonna get me in trouble for saying, but geez, all right. We're at the 2-hour mark. We've had some spirited debates, some spirited disagreements. We've also had some unique takes on the game and on our performance. So anything you want to particularly mention before we allow for the crew and the audience to, settle in? Let's go with let's rip the Band-Aid off. Brian, is there anything you'd like to say?
No.
Okay. All right. No ripping the Band-Aid off. All right. Hey, do you want to rip the Band-Aid off, JK? You've been dropping bombs today, so.
At the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, football's about winning. That's it. That's all I can say. Have a good night.
There you go.
Well, you must have had fun as a Liverpool fan for 25 years.
Oh, bro, that was hard. It was hard, but you know what I mean?
I
was used to winning before that. Before that drought we had, I was used to winning, European Cups, league titles. So I was sort of born into that. So I was used to winning, So for me, seeing that drought was like, whoa. Now winning the league title again, good. Let's keep it going, Because for me, bro, I've kept it cool since that week we had against PSG and Newcastle. I've been cool. I was like, respect the Slot, he's doing it right. It was that week that for me took a lot of energy out of the whole Slot thing. I was thinking, wow, how can he do that after he's done all that greatness before? How can he do that? And since then he's been like that, bro. We haven't been great. We won 3 league games in a row, before the Chelsea game. I was like, okay, we're not playing great, but we're getting 3 points. You know what I mean? But all in all, I just wish next season we're more consistent and throughout the whole game.
Oh, wow. I know. Oh my goodness. It's a debate show. It's a fan channel. It's a debate show. It's all the above. League. What is your opinion? What is your thoughts? Final thoughts here.
Yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't end things off by beating Arsenal, but there you go. Tough luck. We won the league. We got the silverware. I mean, it's only the second one since I've been an adult man, since I've been legally allowed to buy alcohol. It's only the second time we've won the league. There was, what was the 3? Well, it was 3 that, when I used to go a lot as a kid, that we won was 86, 88, and 90. Everton won the other 2. And then we just dropped off a cliff after 90. We also ran for ages before we came back. So so we got a caught a fleeting glimpse as a child like that little Pink Floyd of how great we were, and then we were shit for a long time. But even when we were shit, like we were still good, weren't we? And still used to like pull things off. We'd get trophies here and there, like, and get good victories against our rivals. But yeah, it's enjoyment time now. Like it's party time for us now. 20, and we're all thinking about next season and making it 21, so Ferguson can sit there and watch that happen. I hope we give him free. I hope we give Fergie a free ticket to the season if we're about to clinch the league at home. Invite the man to come and witness it.
Be nice, be very nice. Be even better if we could get
even better. He might, if he gets free food and drink, he might come, like, you know what I mean? So watch it.
It'd be nice. It'd be a cherry on the top if we could finally get this verdict to come through on Manchester City. Maybe get a little bit of a boost to our numbers as well, even though Manchester United would get a boost to theirs as well too. But to push us further away from the pack would be even nicer though anyway. But look, people, today's draw stings, I think, for some of us, and it's, I guess, now on to the next one. We now have to readjust our levels or our ideas of what this point tally is going to be at the end of the year, to possibly being, I guess, now 89 is the highest we can go, I believe. 89 is the highest we can go. So we have Brighton next away. It's going to be a tough game there. I don't think Brighton have really much to play for, but we shall see. We shall see. Brighton, I think, Brighton's in ninth place. They're not going to be making Europe. They're not going to be doing anything special. But Brighton's a good team. They've always played us well, especially away. And yeah.
Is Milner still on their books as a player? Is he?
Brighton can't make Europe, by the way. Pops. Brighton have 55 points. Forest has 62 points. So if Brighton were to win the last two games, that would be 61 points, and that would be still beneath the 62 that Forest sits currently in seventh place with. So they cannot, nor can Brentford. Brentford and Brighton, all pretty much the top seven is assured. But where that, I'd say maybe 2-7, where they all fall out, is still up for grabs. But yeah, Brighton is not going to win. I still don't think that'll have. I think that the only number of teams it's going to be is 71. If Crystal Palace makes it, that pulls in a place in FA Cup. Goes to Europa, right? They go to Europa. League Cup goes to Conference League, right? And then so if Crystal Palace wins, I don't think that could still open up a spot for Brighton, though. I don't think that would open up a spot for. I don't know how that would open up a spot for Brighton. They still wouldn't have. If they take the Europa spot, then everyone gets bumped down a spot. So, and Newcastle is already in. Yeah, Newcastle winning the final is already in the or even if they were to drop all the way down, they would take the Conference League. But yeah, I think it was determined that there's only 7 spots that are going to be up for grabs, basically, for Europe. The 5 spots we have, the one for Europa, the one for Conference League. But people, we might be doing a review tomorrow. I'm not certain. We're going to figure out. We're going to talk backstage, see if everyone if the yays or the nays have us doing a review tomorrow. Big up Dara. I don't know if Dara's kidding or not, by the way.
Game of 2 halves, Dara. First half, brilliant. Second half, not great.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Chelsea could win Conference League too, which would be a spot into Europa. So
a great day for Chelsea winning that. I actually seen a comment from one of their fans saying it's one of the ones we haven't won and we're going to win that this season. Yeah. Said it'll complete their European trophy set.
Really?
Yeah. No words of a lie, mate. Maybe laugh.
They'll sing that to us next season. They'll sing it to us. You ain't won it.
I was going to reply
you
to
won
the
the
comment,
Conference
but I couldn't
League.
be asked. I was just laughing at it too much.
Funny.
I couldn't be asked typing anything.
All right, man. I'm
True, bro. Brian said it's true. Not enough celebration, man. We got to celebrate.
Sure. Gotta celebrate the draws. So
we do have the parade.
Yeah, I'll do my celebrating when we get to the parade. All right, people. We'll like I said, we'll figure out if we're gonna do a review. But either way, we'll do a show tomorrow just to have. Maybe we'll continue this conversation. A couple of these points. Maybe we'll try to get the celebration started early tomorrow. We will see you all, though, hopefully, around this time tomorrow, actually. And as always, we hope that you had a safe and enjoyable place to watch the game. And we certainly hope that you'll join us tomorrow for another episode. Until then, as always, up the Reds. And thank you to the panel. Thank you guys for joining in with us today. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.